Alright, we are now back with Frostpunk. We left off where we were just building our hunter's hut, collecting resources at the beginning of the day here. So we're just going to start right into it and let them do what they need to do. Alright, children are cared for, so hope rises. By building that child shelter as we did before, it has raised our hope down here a little bit more. So that's all it takes. 15 out of 15 children are in there. You can see we only have 15 children, so that's perfect. If we had more, we would want to build more shelters. So let's go into our tech tree. We got those two things built. The beacon, this will help us allow to send scouts out to discover different parts outside our little area here. We'll wait on that. Now we have to decide, do we want to go with hunter's gear? Go straight into building one of the, whether it be the coal thumper, sawmill, or steelworks, or just go into tier 2. I prefer to just go straight into tier 2 because I want to make sure we can at least get this upgraded generator when that moment happens, because we don't have access to use overdrive. So without that access, it kind of makes things a little hard. So we want to just make sure we can upgrade this straight off. We have the wood trees for it, so let's do it. We have 30 people available. 30 people available. Coal over here is done. So our steel is looking okay for now. Since we have the people and it's still not that close to that dropping, I'm just going to put those people straight to work on this steel. I want to be able to use that. As you can tell now, I am not putting these into 24-hour shifts because I don't want that to be an issue. We're going to put 5 people into there. This still hasn't completed yet, which blows my mind. And then come nighttime, we'll put 15 people into these. So basic resources are now gathered is what this is stating us, and it's asking us to build a beacon. Everyone builds a beacon on a different level. Some people build it right away, some people wait, some people wait really far into it. So it really just depends. I kind of hesitate to build it right away. I'm probably on the medium scale of it. So this mother thanks us that we built a shelter for her kid. So hope will rise slightly, which is a good thing. Every little bit of hope helps with the discontent. And even if your discontent's high, as long as your hope is still high, it won't become too big of an issue. So now we've built our first medical facility. 4 people are sick. Thank God none of them are grave. By putting these into here, you'll see the sick, it'll be right at the very bottom here, will go straight into being treated, which is fantastic. So now those people are going to be treated, and we'll be able to make sure that none of our people fully get sick. Still building, the nighttime is now coming, so once it says work shift is over, right now, which is perfect timing, what we're going to do is, so you can see how these don't have much left. This doesn't look like a lot of steel, but it's mined at a very slow rate. So we're going to disband both of these wood, and we're going to put them into our huts here so they can go hunting, because we need them to go hunting. Surprisingly, even though they're still working 24 hours, they actually don't take a, what's the word, penalty for that. So they don't take a penalty for working 24 hours. We're going to now go into our book of laws, and we're going to add another law, because at the very beginning you want to almost try making these laws as fast as possible, just because some of them really help you out at the beginning. Some of them aren't as important, but later on become important. But you're limited of how fast you can research laws, so you just want to make sure you're doing them on the quicker end as long as you can afford it. This next one won't cost us anything, so now we need to pick whether we need to have children go to work in medics as a medic, or make them work in workshops to speed up research. So I go back and forth between this. I like to also play a little bit more on the defensive side. Yes, it's nice to research things quicker, but we can just build more tech buildings to research quicker. So we can't build more, well, we can build more medic centers, but even if we build more, it doesn't mean they're going to heal faster. We just can treat more people at once. So I like to just go straight and have them go into the medical field, just because it works a little bit more efficiently in my opinion. The better use of the children. So you can see we have all the tents built. Discontent now falls. It falls because we have the children working with the medics. It falls because it's the end of the day and nothing bad happened. Overall, it's working out good. We have a little bit of food rations, which is fantastic. One of the next things we're going to want to do is they only collect 15 food. We're going to want to bump that up in a minute. So, because that is very low. So if you look here, by us enacting this, we can get up to 20 raw food each time. But it's more. There's other aspects that are slightly more important at the very beginning. That being one. So now they're done collecting this. We're gonna do exactly what we did before. We're going to remove them. We're going to put them on the wood pile there. We have an extra 5 people that aren't being used right now, so we're going to put them on that wood pile. Because we want to make sure we can clear these before the end. We're good on coal at the moment. Now here comes the question. Is our next piece is, yes, we can go right into this, but we have to worry about the heat coming up in less than a day here. Also, besides these 2 piles that give us 500 each, which we can research the upgrade in time and then research the coal, we're going to be limited on our wood. We're going to be limited on our steel. So now this is when we have to start playing into the factor of every single research, which is also why I put research on a 24-hour shift at the very beginning, because how detrimental it can be. So I think, to be on the safe side, I want to upgrade this. So this allows us to raise the temperature in all the zones by 1. The coal consumption is doubled when we do this, but it does have its advantages. So this does have a big factor in how we will stay alive. So I'm going to go straight into researching that. I think it's a little more important than the actual coal and the steel works and all that other research. So we're just going to do that. This is at a 0%, which is kind of concerning. Oh, right, because the hunters are coming back from work. So these hunters are now done. So same thing, we're going to turn them down. We're going to put the remainder onto here. So, but it gives us 5 people to work with. So I think what I want to do is, they're making food. They also have no more food to actually do anything with, so we're going to remove them. What I think we want to do is we're going to build a gathering post. You can see the circle around the gathering post of what it allows you to gather. You can't put it on these. Yes, it tells you these are here, but it's just because it's a building, that's why. But when we highlight over, you can see the objects turning green. It means everything inside of that circle is going to be gathered from this gathering hut, which means when we assign people to it, it's going to gather from it. So let's put one of these right here to gather both of these coal piles. So instead of using 15 people per coal pile, we can just use 10 people in this gathering hut to gather both piles at the exact same time. So they gather slower in regards to putting 15 people in each one, but the gathering rate is technically faster in the gathering hut, so it's not like it's a 1-for-1 loss per person. I don't know the exact ratio. Maybe I can Google that at another point. But they do gather research or resources faster in the gathering post than they do just by assigning them to the physical pile. So it's always something to keep in mind. So now that this is complete, we have 20 people available. We'll put 10 of them on. Shoo, excuse me. So you can see here how the steel had finished, which is why that was completed. We have 43 left to here, 45 left to there. So the people are now working onto those, which is fantastic. Those should finish right before this frost. And to make sure that this building is safe, we need to build a steam hub. So the reason for the roads is we don't have to build roads. We do if we want to survive, but we don't have to. I can't put this anywhere else besides attached to a road, which means I can't expand the heat zone any further past this little circle right here. So with that being said, we need to build this to where it's going to protect our people while they're out collecting resources. So by building this here, it extends. If it wants to re-show me, it doesn't. It's going to extend the bubble of heat. So you'll see in a second. Ooh. Do we want a 24-hour shift that? No. What we're going to do is we're going to remove these people. And we're not going to put them back, because not at least right away, because once this frost hits and this drops, if they wander out here, they will get extremely sick. So what we'll end up doing, it is the nighttime, so we will put them into here, put them to work there. I might want a 24-hour this again though. Yeah, let's 24-hour this. 1830, so 2030, that's when we need to make them not work again. Generator power upgrade research complete. We don't care about the range. What we now need to go into is figuring out what we're going to do here. So this coal thumper brings in, how much does it bring in? 560 coal per workday, which means it takes 10 people to use the coal thumper and another 20 people for 2 gathering posts to collect the coal that it produces. This here produces 240 coal, but doesn't require gathering posts, if I understand that correctly. I've actually never used the coal mining, so I can't speak upon that. So I might end up going with this. The only problem with it is we only have 1 steam core to start until we gather more. And you can see here, none of these require steam cores to start. The wall drill does, the coal thumper doesn't, the steam coal thumper does. But I think at the very beginning, yes, this uses more people. It does produce more coal by double, which is fantastic. So I think we might go for the coal thumper. Later on, we'll switch over to the coal mining. I just don't know if I want to use that there. I'd rather almost use it in the hothouse, because this produces 30 raw food per day, or per working day, I should say, because the huts get their own. I could also just ignore the hothouse and just go straight for hunter's gear, which might not be a bad idea. It just means I have to rely heavily on actually getting people to go hunting every single night. So, you know what, let me mix up the game. I have not taken this approach before. This is my second full playthrough through, so let me actually do that. Let me research the actual coal mining. It's going to be the first time I've done it, so I don't know how it's going to work out. This could be a very bad decision or a very good decision. We will find that out very shortly. Remember, we have to stop this at 2030. Alright, it is now stopped. We are now going to remove these people for 2 hours. Almost there. Yes, I'm kind of being obnoxious with the stop and go. We're going to reassign them. I just try not wasting any more time than need be. So you can see here, now that this is complete, it opens up an area that people are actually allowed to work in. We're going to switch that down to working time only because I don't need it running all the time. It helps us save a little bit of coal. We don't need this actually. We might as well just keep it. The reason why we don't need it that high at the moment is because the temperature is not there. You can see how hot this is. Do we need it this hot at this moment? No, we don't have any homeless people. But this is about to drop, so I mean, I could, here, ready, I'll just show you. So we're going to lower it to only raise it again. So we lowered it. You can see the temperature drops a little bit. Saves us a little bit of coal. And then, how many more people extra do we have? I could put these here. Use the engineers on the cookhouse. And then we could just build a second one of these and use these 10 people here. But once this coal's done, we're going to assign the coal here, which is a lot different than I'm used to. So let's just put these 10 people on this coal pile, because we're going to want to cut left as soon as possible. So we're going to want to clear this coal before this coal. So we're going to just set up like this. We're going to watch this temperature drop. So if you look in the top here, you have the temperature drop, and then 2 more days the temperature goes up. But it drops 2 here, but it only goes up 1 here. So it's going to affect us quite a bit. So once actually this hits, you'll actually be able to see the temperature overlay drop significantly. This chilly area will no longer be chilly. This nice, livable, comfortable area will no longer be livable or comfortable. So, oh wow, that researched very quickly. So let's just go into the sawmill then, because wood's going to be our next big thing, and after wood we'll do steel. And once we do that, we should be pretty happy going. This guy's happy because we survived another night, but he does not realize the pain that is about to come. So as you see, that temperature dropped significantly on us. So it's showing -20 right here. And I paused the game, but it will end up going up to -40 degrees Celsius, which is fairly significant. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to stop it right here, and we will go through the next few days when I come back. Alright, thank you for joining me here with my playthrough of Frostpunk. We'll see you next time.